Peace be upon you. As a young child, while lying down in my bed before falling asleep, I used to wonder, doesn't everything have a creator? Then, who created Allah? I'd then feel that this question is prohibited and that it did not occur to anyone before. Then I grew up and found out that many others have the same question, and that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told us that many would ask it and guided us on how to deal with it. First, where did this question come from? From our misunderstandings. Everything has a cause and every existing thing has a creator is not correct. Instead, the correct axiom is, every emergent thing has a cause and every creature has a creator. Every emergent thing needs a cause. Emergent means it has a beginning. It came into existence from non-existence. So everything with a beginning needs a cause to bring it from non-existence to existence into being after it wasn't there. What caused the plant to grow? The rain. What brought the rain down? The clouds. What formed the clouds? The rising steam. Where did the steam come from? From the oceans. And who caused the oceans to exist? Allah. And who created Allah? He does not have a creator because he is the first cause. That is, he has no cause. Why? Because if you assume that Allah has a creator, then you will ask, who created his creator? And so on to perpetuity, which leads to an infinite regress of causes, also called infinite chain of doers, which is logically impossible because its necessary result is no creation, as we explained in the last episode with the example of the prisoner who won't be released until the soldier receives an order from his officer, and the officer receives an order from his officer, and so on, with the result that the prisoner will never be released. But if he is released, we would know that the chain stopped with someone who gave the order without waiting for a superior. Here's another example to illustrate the impossibility of infinite regress. If you enter a house, look through its door, and see a chandelier hanging from a chain, but you don't see where this chain starts, you'll know for sure that it starts at the ceiling. Otherwise, it wouldn't be hanging and would have fallen. You will not accept the idea that the chain could be infinitely extended. Therefore, the question, who created the creator, is a wrong question because it contradicts reason. The mind dictates that if the universe is created, then there should be a creator who is not created. It is a wrong question because, rationally, a first cause is necessary. When you ask, who created the first cause, it is no longer a first cause. Rather, it becomes a second cause. Therefore, the causality principle applies only to events with a beginning. If you enter your room and see that your bed has been moved, you ask, who moved the bed? Because its movement is an emergent event. Whereas, if you enter your room and see that the bed is in place, you don't ask, who kept the bed in place? Because the bed staying in place isn't a new occurrence that needs a cause. Allah the Exalted, who is the first cause, isn't an emergent thing to need a cause. He is beyond the material world that he created, and he is not governed by its rules. If you see a moving puppet and you know that behind the curtain there is a person moving it, would it be acceptable to ask, who's moving the strings of this person? If you see a loaf of bread and you know that it must have a baker, do you ask, who baked the baker? Certainly not. It's a funny and incorrect question. Why? Because it's an out-of-context generalization. Likewise, creation is an attribute inherent to created things and cannot be extended to the creator. So the question, who created Allah, is a wrong question. It's like asking, what is the length of the triangle's fourth side? It's as if we're asking, who created the uncreated? Or who preceded the unprecedented? The answer is, the creator has no creator, because if he had a creator, he would be a creature, not a creator. So this question is not embarrassing, nor is Islam afraid that people will ask it. Rather, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, told that it would be asked and showed us how to deal with it. What did he guide us to do? In the hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim, that the Messenger of Allah said, Satan comes to one of you whispering, who created this? Who created that? Till he says, who created your Lord? So, when one reaches that, he should seek refuge in Allah and stop. Stop means stop the chain of questions when it reaches this point. Does this mean cancellation of the mind? Not at all. It's the proper rational stance. Why? Because the question, who created your Lord, as we've shown, contradicts the necessary mental axioms. Mental axioms that form the basis for deduction for which no proof is needed. Otherwise, we'd require a never-ending chain of proofs. Meaning, he who asks this question needs to ask himself, what am I doing? I'm contradicting necessary innate knowledge. So let me stop here before wasting my mind on logical absurdities. Therefore, in another hadith, the Prophet, peace be upon him, directed those with this question to say, Allah is one. Allah is the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. Meaning, I believe that Allah is not an emergent thing, like other emergent things. He was not born to have a beginning, nor does he have any equivalent. He, the exalted, is apart from his creation. He is not a creature, like them to need a creator. Therefore, this question is incorrect to begin with. But the question imposes itself upon me, even though I know it's incorrect. Do not worry. It's an obsession like other obsessions related to purity, ablution, or prayer. If you are afflicted with obsessions, it's Satan making you doubt whether you washed or didn't wash, whether you intended to pray or not, whether you said Allahu Akbar the right way or not. Even though these are all sure sensory things that require neither proof nor deduction, yet you have doubts about them. What is the solution in this case? Do you resort to proof and deduction? No. You seek refuge in Allah from Satan who whispers to you, and you stop dwelling on the doubts he raises. Similarly, in the case of the question, who created Allah? You now know that it's a question that contradicts mental axioms. Finally, the question, who created Allah, is also asked by atheists as an argument against the belief in Allah, because they don't accept the idea that Allah is eternal without a beginning. Tell the atheist who presents this argument, do you believe that the universe has a beginning? If he says yes, then this emergent universe must have a cause based on clear necessary mental axioms. However, if he says, no, it is eternal, then say, you have an objection to the eternity of Allah but accept that the universe is eternal? So you don't object to the principle of eternity itself, but you object to the eternity of a creator who created the universe, with knowledge, will, wisdom, and ability, manifest in all his creation, while you accept that an eternal universe just popped into place, a universe with no will, knowledge, or wisdom. In their transgression, wandering blindly, peace and mercy of Allah be upon you.